Hey everybody, it's your boy, Eduardo Jackson, CEO, founder of Cinema Draft, and creator of blacksandbitcoin.com, where everybody's welcome, but I stay black and loving Bitcoin. We are welcoming back a quick turnaround to the pod, welcoming back to the pod, the moderator of my panel at the Black Enterprise Entrepreneur Summit in Charlotte, North Carolina, 2 weekends ago. She is the digital manager for Black Enterprise Magazine. You know her, you love her, and she's really quite nice in person. It's Samara Lynn. Hey, Samara.
Hey. So great to
Welcome
be back
back.
here.
Good,
Thank
good.
you.
Yeah, and I just wanted to get you back on so quickly after because I just wanted to have you recap the summit. Like, what did you see from your position, not only as a multiple moderator, but also just kind of milling about with everyone in the in the Charlotte Convention Center?
So this is my fourth entrepreneur summit with Black Enterprise, and every year it just amazes me how many Black entrepreneurs there are. I mean, it's just astounding, and it just keeps growing year by year by year. And I would say one more thing too, because we also have the Tech Connect Summit, which coming up in October, which is our technology-oriented summit.
Yes, let's show that.
Entrepreneur Summit, and next summit is just continues to constantly fuse. You know, so many startups are tech oriented. So
yeah, absolutely, and I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw someone like Brian back at the Tech Connects or whatever in San Francisco, which I believe is in October 8th and 9th.
Yeah, and Brian Burkeen, we bouncing back and forth between Tech Connects and Entrepreneur Summit because he has a lot of valuable knowledge on the business side and on the, you know.
No, absolutely, and also the fact that I mean, it is impressive, especially when I was on my panel, sitting next to a guy who was able to, a black person of all things, our representation in cryptocurrency, is less than where it probably could be or should be, but sitting next to a guy who's raised 30 million through an ICO, which is astounding, and it's really great to have him, pretty much anytime or any way you can. I personally reached out to him after and was like, look, just tell me everything you know. I'm trying to, work with this environmental group out of Seattle to maybe do an ICO to fund, our efforts. Like, give me your secrets. And he's, to his credit, he's very, open with sharing his stuff. He actually has
He really is.
These informal founder get-togethers down in Miami. So if you can afford to make it down to Miami to learn how to market, an ICO, you should definitely hit him up.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Brian is great.
I'll be your agent, Brian.
And so are you. You were great on the panel as well. I mean, the knowledge you dropped about crypto was just unbelievable. We had a great turnout.
Yeah, I'm not much of a specialist per se. I'm more of a generalist because we had like the tech guy, which was Daryl Hubbard and Yetta, and then we had the guy who's kind of like a bridge between between tech and also general knowledge like Brian, and then just kind of meets hanging out here like, yeah, I've just been around for a while, but I got opinions.
Hey, and your enthusiasts often sometimes make the best panelists because they're just so into every aspect. They have a good broad range of it. So.
Oh yeah, well, thank you. It was great to be there. Great to get out of my little desert cage, as I said. And yeah, I'm with you. It felt so good to be around so many Black people who are just, I mean, a lot of them were really professionally hustling. Like they had their corporate gig, but they had their side hustle, or their side hustle was their corporate gig, and just feeling the energy. And I mean, it felt like someone called it a church revival meets a business meeting. That's kind of how it felt.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
I was definitely underdressed, but I don't care. I'm representing tech. We walk around in t-shirts.
Because we're getting a lot more millennials and we're very focused with the younger generation, we're addressing that. We're trying to make it less so stuffy. Our next Tech Connects next year is going to be probably in a shared raw space in San Francisco. So we're going to, Black Enterprise has been around a while, but we're going to young it up a bit.
Well, I mean, and even if they were suited and booted with their Sunday finest, which most of them were, it was kind of refreshing. It reminded me when I first went to Morehouse, my little HBCU down there in Atlanta, and how there was always 2 or 3 brothers sitting at the front of the class in full suits or whatever in the August heat, bow ties, whatever, just ready to learn. That's what it felt like. Like it felt like a convention center of that. So that was fun. That was great. And and me personally, being a single guy who lives in a place that is not predominantly black, it was great seeing so many women who were doing it for themselves. I went to the Sisters Inc.
Yeah,
panel.
yeah,
I
definitely.
mean, just I had so many crushes throughout the weekend. It was great. So keep jumping. Yeah. So back to the panel. What were some of the takeaways you took from moderating our panel?
Well, I think what the biggest one was I was really quite surprised how interested the audience was. I think there's a lot of interest from Black people in cryptocurrency. Are you finding that as well?
Yeah, there is, and I mean, I informally shilled, this Facebook group I'm part of, but I check it every day. I try to, add little contributions or little news that I see every day into the group. It's called Black People and Cryptocurrency. I'll leave a link in the description below. And and I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised. I guess what kind of surprised me was how many like really kind of like corporate people were like looking for like a a financial entry point as far as like, well, how much of this should I add to my portfolio? So they're basically kind of
Right.
dipping their toe in the water in like a very kind of structured way. Because most of the Black people that I know who are into cryptocurrency, we're all like kind of gung ho, trailblazing. Like we're just gonna, we're gonna like buy a bunch of ICOs or just trying to figure this out or whatever.
Yeah.
Versus somebody who's like, let me just see if I can fit this in like a side piece to my life.
Yeah.
And is that what you
Yeah, I
found
definitely
when
agree.
you were talking to people? I mean, yeah. So yeah, because you
Yeah.
told me that the response was interesting. You give me some more details, like what you found the general response was to the panel.
Well, I think people there were two types of attendees. One was there was a gentleman in the front who was asking some really pointed questions.
Oh, in the white
He
shirt.
was
Yeah, I
like,
remember.
that was a good session. Yeah, it was a good session, but it was a little bit basic. And almost like 5 minutes after he said that, the woman in blue on the other side of the room had come up to me and said, I learned so much. I mean, I thought it was a really in depth, good discussion. So
Mm,
either, sometimes you have some people who are very well informed and some
right.
people who aren't. And I think we did a good job of keeping it sort of in the middle level.
Hmm.
So, that was one of the takeaways.
Yeah, and also
I
and also.
also think
Oh,
that,
go ahead. No, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
no, 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 please.
No, no, I was just gonna say that I also like my part as like a panelist. Sometimes I feel when I'd feel like the discussion was drifting a little too techy, I'd try to kind of steer it to something a little more tangible because I wasn't sure how much people knew about cryptocurrency in the
Right,
space. But I felt like I mean definitely wasn't like a total beginner session per se, but I felt like it
right.
was early intermediate to middle level
Yes.
intermediate session that I felt like most people get some value from it because even Mr. Whiteshirt who said it was pretty
Oh,
basic.
yeah.
I mean when he I mean we were talking about the STOs, the security token offerings and stuff. Like, he kind of perked up when
Hmm.
I talked about Pink Date and some of these other ones that are out there. They're offering these new breed of
Absolutely.
ICOs. So yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
it's interesting that we had someone say that because I felt most people were just kind of like blown away by like what the space was.
Me too. I think he was just definitely probably a rare type of that had that rare knowledge in the audience. I think a lot of other people too. What I got back was they're really interested in how cryptocurrency can serve as an alternative form of funding for their
Mm.
startups and for Black businesses. And I think they touched in on the ICOs and all of that. So I
Yeah,
think that's our audience was real interested in that.
yeah, and I actually had a conversation with with a panelist from another, well, actually two panelists from other uh, uh, topics or panels, whatever. One guy named Spectacular Smith, great name. He was a part of the
Oh
social
yeah,
media panel, and we've been
yeah.
discussing ways he could possibly tokenize his brand. And then I ran into Natalie Madera Cofield from the Sisters Inc. panel, and she was just kind of
Wow.
curious on how. Yeah, she's very impressive,
Yeah.
and she was just talking to me about like possibly doing something with like because I mentioned how tokens can be almost like the new rewards club or membership, rewards type
Yeah.
thing for different organizations. And she was, curious how that might work with her brand of empowering business women. And also, to be honest, it got me into her panel too. Like I just wanted to see what more she was talking about. So there are a lot of different ways people can go with cryptocurrency. What do you think? Even the people who weren't there, but what have you heard or what have you seen out there in the culture? Do you think would be like our best avenue for Black folks' adoption of cryptocurrency? Would it be most of us starting ICOs, or would it be, finding like a killer app or a big celebrity endorsing? Like, what do you think would be our big entry point for cryptocurrency with African American people?
I really don't even, I think it's just really spreading the knowledge. I think Black people are interested in two things, really, wealth for life, which is, Black Enterprises tag. How can I use this as investing and to create generational wealth? If there's a way, or if there, where that message can get across that this is a way that you can, alternative way to create generational wealth, I think that'll really hit home. And I definitely think the ICOs with the startups. I mean, I think Black women now are like the number one group that are launching businesses. So,
Oh, all right.
Black people are launching a lot of startups. Black men as well too, especially the millennials. So
No,
I
and
think those
that's
are two
important.
big.
That's
Yeah.
important too, as far as tech funding, because Black women get like, what, 0.5% of all VC funds.
Right.
I mean, Black men,
Exactly.
not much better, like what, 1 or 2%. So yeah, that's
Right.
that's great to hear. And yeah, if we,
Yeah.
wow. So this reminds me, I had I spoke to another gentleman I met after our panel, who, he was an SEC consultant, and we spoke, when I came back to
I
Vegas about.
remember him.
Yeah, I think his name is Dwayne Hampton.
Hmm.
We spoke about some other stuff, and
Hmm.
I mean, I wasn't even, waking up that day to speak to him to start a revolution or anything, but he really got me thinking about like Black folk need, our own like kind of Silicon Valley, or like a place where we can all kind of, we're almost like an incubator or a hub of places where we can kind of really, get people going with cryptocurrency. And the more we kept
Right.
talking about it, the more I'm like thinking, this should kind of be a thing, because they're not bringing us out to, to the Bay Area, in droves. So maybe we need to start
Right.
our own. Is it Detroit? Is it Miami with Brian Brackeen? Like, I don't know.
I love that idea. And, you have Brian Brackeen in Miami. You have Felicia Hatcher, who's another really well-connected entrepreneur. And they do that Black Tech Week in Miami. I
Mm,
mean, I think even like a digital currency academy, cryptocurrency
mm.
academy,
Huh.
that is tied to an incubator. I think that's a fantastic idea. And I think that's a great way to get, especially millennial entrepreneurs involved.
Oh my goodness. See, you leading the
Yeah.
revolution, sister. Watch out. Watch out.
Yeah,
Okay.
to do it. I'll just give you the idea.
Well, I mean, yeah. Yeah, but and that's one thing I found a lot with people with African American people in cryptocurrencies, that they want to do something that feels like kind of collectivist, like that, like I said, to create generational
Right.
wealth. And my tagline, which I love spouting, we have a once in a generation chance to create generational wealth. Definitely, holds
Right.
true. And it just seems like I just wish there was like maybe we do need to create our own stuff, but I just wish there was a way we could organize or mobilize collectively to make this happen, because you see a lot of other communities, latch on to like either an industry or an idea, and just really, support each other and make it, run. But for us, it seems like we have the technological tools right now, but we don't really have like just the singular focus. Maybe that's something we can all work on. Maybe it's something that, we can
Yeah.
explore in Black
Yeah.
Enterprise, if not the magazine, or online on the digital blog. Tell us a little bit about like some of the contributor blog stuff, because I'm interested in possibly joining your ranks.
I am so excited. So we have a really rigorous, really you know, expansive, comprehensive gamut of knowledge contributors network. I mean, everyone from people who can espouse on, influencer marketing,
Mm,
technology, STEM education. And I mean, cryptocurrency is definitely a missing component. So to have you on board as a contributor, and even just to write like a 300 word post on, what I'm thinking, we need what you just, talked about. I think that's great. And that's a great inroad to get to spread the word about cryptocurrency.
yeah, and I'm looking forward to working close with you guys next several months to try to spread the word, because this is one thing that the people who did attend, our session, people who didn't attend the session, like, they had hazy, general knowledge of Bitcoin. They thought it was either a scam, they didn't trust it, or it just
Right.
wasn't like in their life. But when I actually had a chance to talk to some people, outside of and believe me, I pitched our panel several times before I got there. So hopefully that drove a few other people out. They kind of like got it, and they're like intrigued. And so if we just keep
Right.
piquing the interest of the community, we can still get on. And it's still super early. It's still super
Right.
early. And that's probably one of the first pieces I want to submit is how, it's never too late to get into Bitcoin. Bitcoin right now, I
Right.
think is pumping, but even still, it's like under
Right.
7,000. So,
Right.
let's get
I
in,
think just
people.
and despite what Mr. White Shirt said, and we love Mr. White Shirt and thanked him for attending, but a lot of people still don't understand. They don't like. I think there was one woman who asked during the panel. She said like she couldn't wrap her head around how Bitcoin got its value.
Mm.
And I remember you and Daryl trying to explain. It's like how does a dollar get its value? It's by what the society ascribes it to. So
Absolutely.
there's some things people don't understand about it still.
Yeah, and it really is. It really kind of challenges you to not just take the world around you for granted, that what someone says is what actually it's perfect tie into to politics these days, that truth is proved to be somewhat manipulated. It can be you really have to
Right.
really identify what truth is and what value really is. And so cryptocurrency
Right.
definitely challenges your assumptions and previously held notions of what value is. One of the things I
Right.
did, I was interested in, was speaking to that Dwayne Hampton guy after the panel. He's an SEC consultant, and basically I just wanted to know, it's like, look, is the SEC really looking out for investors and Main Street people, or are they just trying to slow cryptocurrency down so Wall Street can catch up? And he said it's kind of the latter. And I just want to kick this over to you, to an article you hit me to, which kind of made me smile and blew my mind subtly, that you found out today online about the SEC kind of putting a chill on the space with one of its most notorious promoters.
Yeah, that was. I saw this come up on Twitter that John McAfee, who's been like a proponent of crypto digital currency, it's going to be the future, it's all we're going to know, is said he's pulling back from ICOs, and just for the reason you said, because he has fears about the SEC.
Yeah, and those fears are real. From if talking
Yeah,
to
I mean,
Dwayne and lawyers, they're coming for people who aren't doing things legit,
I'm
or if you're
kind of.
not. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just saying, I'm kind of glad you're underscoring this. McAfee is known to be a little paranoid, so
I saw the Netflix
the
special.
fact
Dang it.
the fact that you have an SEC guy telling you that really, says something.
and
I mean,
and
I think he said arrests are imminent. People are going to get
whoa.
arrested. That's what he
Well,
said in his tweet.
well, actually, I mean, arrests have already happened. If you look at some of the companies that have been cracked down on in the space, I mean, and look, and these are like the biggest outliers. These are the ones that were true like scams and pump and dumps, like the one that Floyd Mayweather was associated with. I think it was not.
Right.
I'm not going to say the wrong name, but there was one that raised something like
Yeah.
30 million, largely off the name of Floyd Mayweather, and they just kind of like disappeared or whatever. Though in the big
Right.
connects, they got me for some money too. So
Right.
they're bad actors in space. So arrests have already happened. So I'm not sure how, like, I mean, granted, he is paranoid, and for good reason. He's done a lot of shady stuff in his own, life.
You're right.
I mean, I'd be paranoid if I lived that
Good
lifestyle
point.
too. There's a Netflix doc,
Yeah.
everyone. Check it out.
Oh my gosh. I've actually spoken to him on the phone like twice in an
Oh,
interview, and I mean, he's fascinating. He's fascinating to speak to, but
oh,
he's
okay.
definitely a controversial figure.
Yeah, and his thing, and the thing with McAfee, I mean, he's a bit of a running joke in the cryptocurrency community, mostly because I mean he was just so openly trying to manipulate token markets by promoting it. I mean, like, there's nothing inherently
Yeah.
wrong with promoting a certain token, especially if you're open about it to an extent. But the terms he was demanding were just really ludicrous. Well, I remember someone did a screenshot of like a back and forth between like an emerging coin or something and McAfee, and it was something ridiculous, like hundreds of thousands of dollars plus like 10% of the token supply, just something outrageous like that, just for him to do tweets. I'm like, no, we don't need that. So the fact that McAfee's backing away isn't necessarily the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, that's very true. Very true.
So
Yeah.
not to keep you too long, because I know you're very busy and you're at work. Did you do anything fun in Charlotte that was either non convention related or just interesting?
After my second panel, I had to get on a plane and come back to continue working. So sleep, sleep was fun. The
Slept on the plane.
plane.
All right. Well,
What about you? Did you?
so what other what non-cryptocurrency panel did you get the most value from, like, while you were down there?
Um, I really think I moderated the panel with Spectacular Smith, who, of course, is part of that music group, Pretty Ricky. And he just blew everyone away with his knowledge about like social media marketing. I
Yeah, he's
mean,
a
the
force.
company he built is Adwizer. I can never
Yeah,
say
I'm
it.
looking at his. Actually, I'm putting this on camera. I'm looking
Sorry.
at his business card. This thing, it's a
Yeah,
piece of metal. He said they cost $5 each. He's like, but you know what? You'll never forget it. You damn straight, spectacular. I'll never forget. I keep this on my wall as what is possible. This is wild.
I'm telling you, he's just amazing, and for such a young person, and to be so well versed in like social media marketing. I mean, he literally, I saw like jaws dropping in the
Mm,
audience. So I
mm.
would definitely say that had a lot of value, especially for me as a content producer. He had a lot of good advice for me as well. So
Yeah. I mean, get your wisdom where you can. I really liked
yeah.
I really liked the one that kicked off the whole event with Mark Cuban. He was interesting
Oh
his
yeah.
background, the fact that he was so like open about his musing about running for president. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. I mean, glad to see the rumors are true. And
Yeah.
tanking. Are you? I'm not sure if you're an NBA fan, but the fact that he was just so open about the whole tanking escapades, of the NBA. I'm like, can he get fined even more for this? I was kind of worried for his pocketbook.
Yeah. Yeah, he's another character. He's just like so open and just so like I guess and I think millennials really relate to him too because he's just so authentic. He
Mm.
does. There's just no pretense. He's just we were all kind of like in shock because at Entrepreneur Summit he was walking around by himself without any security guard. And one of our
Oh,
staff members
really?
said he was sitting in the lobby. He was just on his phone. He said nobody even knew it was him. He was going in the elevator by himself. He had no escorts, no entourage.
Well, if I'd known that, then I would have come up to him and pitched some cinema draft. Hell.
And I think, yeah, he had some shades, I think, and people are like, oh, you
Wow.
wouldn't even have known it was him. But he was just walking around by himself. That's just
Wow.
the kind of guy he is.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. No, that's amazing because him and also I like Byron Allen's mostly because he has such a close relationship
Yeah.
with his mother. It reminds me of my mother. I'm an only child, and it was just kind of me and my mom for the most part. Now she didn't start like a whole intern program at a studio like Byron Allen's mother did, and I did not grow up around showbiz. But I really like the fact that he credits her with a lot, and I guess is still pretty tight with her to this day. So that
Yeah.
was pretty cool. Black mom.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, and just to bring this in for a landing. So, looking forward to BE's Tech Connects. What can you tease us? Do you have any like speakers locked in yet, what can we expect?
We're working on it. We're working on getting some really cool names, and we're working on getting like tech people can actually see and test and try out. And
Okay,
we'll definitely share details as they happen. So
excellent. Yeah, personal request. I'd love to see like a Tesla out there, whatever the latest Tesla is.
ah,
See if they're
okay,
to fund the struggle.
okay, all
They're out there
right.
still
Well,
willing to
duly
pay.
noted. Duly noted.
Well, thanks for taking time out of your busy day. I know you're at work. Hopefully not on your lunch hour. I don't want
It's
to take away your
always a
lunch
pleasure.
hour.
Oh no, I always for you. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, and great framing of the Entrepreneur Summit issue right behind you. My co-panelist Brian
Yep.
Brackeen
Oh, thank you.
on part of it.
That's a coincidence.
Oh no, you're not new to this. You're true to this. Where can you all find Blacks in Bitcoin? Go to blacksinbitcoin.com. We are also on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, but no Snapchat. You don't do none of that. You can also subscribe to this podcast to iTunes, Google Music, which I think is probably becoming YouTube Music, SoundCloud, wherever you get your favorite podcast from. So please subscribe to our channel, give it a 5-star rating. Open up a Coinbase account, and you will get $10 bonus for every $10 for the first $10 you put in, and I'll get a little kickback too. That's great. You can feel free to tip me at my blockchain wallet as well, or get the swag at zazzle.com/blacksinbitcoin. And also feel free to send me your burning crypto questions. If we get enough of them, I will read them on air. And anything you're working on, Samara, plug your ish.
Really just working on the agenda with Tech Connects. And as always, we have the latest, greatest breaking Black business news and lifestyle and other news on blackenterprise.com.
Great. Well, thanks so much for popping on the podcast, and we'll
Oh, my
we'll
pleasure.
see you soon. Thanks.
All right. Thank you.